Two, one. Welcome to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. I'm your host, Eduardo. I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What's up, Edward?
Nothing much, Ed.
Oh man, what an exciting weekend of football. The championship weekend, man, there were some great games.
I know you were so excited you didn't even say the proper intro. You said welcome. You said welcome instead of
Well,
welcome
I mean,
back.
kind of trying to switching it up. Welcome to the new listeners, and welcome back to the old listeners. But you know what? I'll switch it around once in a while. But man. Exciting week of football, huh? Now we're close 2 weeks away from the Super Bowl. It went pretty fast this year.
Super Bowl 58 is underway. Kansas
Yeah.
City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Rematch
Yeah.
of probably say the Super Bowl from about, I want to say
Was it
3 years ago.
Mahomes' first Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his first Super Bowl. And imagine that was when Jimmy G was there. So it's it's been a while from there. But what is what are your thoughts on the championship week?
Championship week.
Yeah,
Might as well just start
championship
talking
weekend.
about the might as well just start talking about the AFC Championship game.
I think that game. It kicked off the championship weekend. It was an exciting game, man. The Ravens, Baltimore was excited to have their first ever to host their first ever AFC Championship game, and that city was loud, rocking. Obviously we've been in there before. You were there as a Steelers fan, so you know how that stadium gets going. Oh man, it was a game, but
I'll say this: they got better services. They'll service you better than FedEx Field, but maybe that's a different topic for a different discussion.
all right. What are your takeaways from this game? The
Uh,
Chiefs won 17-10. What are your takeaways from this game?
I'll just start off jump. I think their championship pedigree showed. Patrick Mahomes, he went 30 for 39, 241 yards, one touchdown, and him and Travis Kelsey, it's like clockwork.
That I think that well, like you said, championship DNA. This team has been there, and it showed. Um, the Chiefs haven't been great all season. I think we've said it all year round. Everybody have said the Chiefs haven't been great. I even said I didn't even see them making it to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl because of the way they were playing. And if they did somehow were able to make it, it was going to be on Mahomes' hands, and it was just going to be Mahomes. Mahomes was going to be magical, and like you said, Travis Kelsey and Mahomes, like that duo, it showed again. Travis Kelsey has issues with his injuries, and he hasn't been the same. But
His
when it
stat
matters,
line, he turned the clock back.
like 11 catches for 116 yards, and he had 7 catches. I think at the first quarter or something like that, or like by the first half. I mean, and he beat the all time the postseason receiving catches.
Yeah, the reception
He
record by
reset
Jerry
reset
Rice.
Jerry Rice. Who would have thought like that record would have even been broken? He broke it in the I think the first half of the first quarter. I'm not mistaken. But like you said, Mahomes is great. I mean, he's in another tier list. He's with the Montanas, Brady's. Like to have him even like Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar is like that's their own category. But now he's in his own like he's with them. He's with his own tier list.
He's going to his fourth Super Bowl, and he's only 28 years old.
And I saw like his I saw like a what's crazy? I saw something. Mahomes' playoff record is 14-3. Peyton Manning was 14-13
In his whole entire career.
his whole entire career, which is insane. Like you said, he's only how old is he?
He's only 28.
I mean, I think to a lot of us to even doubt him and his team is crazy. Like I said, there's certain players that you don't bet against, and Mahomes is one of them. Um, but let's go to the other side. Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he's gonna be the MVP of the NFL this year. like what's your thoughts on him that he couldn't get it done? Like his team all year round, the best team in the NFC, the AFC, they beat down teams with winning records. They once again they couldn't get it done this year.
I mean, throughout this whole season, you just see that Lamar took a complete jump and still kept parts of his game that pretty much makes him special, but also he improved. But obviously, he didn't get it done this game where it mattered the most. And
This is what they remember him like for a lot of like obviously what you do in the regular season, but when like you said when it matters the most, can you live up to the challenge? Can you accept the challenge and bring this team to the Super Bowl? Can you like have the way that we were playing? Was he able to do it? And obviously he wasn't. He didn't get it off. He didn't get off going in a great start.
they had flashes after pretty much, I think their first possession, he threw that bomb to save Flowers. But
But the Chiefs they started off like their first drive, like they scored at the touchdown, obviously with that amazing that pass and that catch, the touchdown to Travis Kelsey. I think the Chiefs were like 7 consecutive drives, first drives with a touchdown or to score. But like I said,
they went for it on 4th and 2 in the first quarter.
yeah.
And
But it shows their aggressiveness. It shows like okay, like we're playing against Baltimore. They're the number one seed. We got to step up and we're gonna go for like they knew what this game was. But sorry that pass to Zay Flowers, which ties the game. But so go back to what we were saying about the Ravens.
yeah, they were showing signs in the first half. And then once the second half came, I think I kind of knew the game was over when Lamar threw that interception and triple coverage.
Oh, the one was in the fourth quarter.
I
Or
think
the
so, yeah.
third. I think the third. But it kind of shows like his frustration because he was kind of like he threw his helmet down. Um, and this team, man, like it. Like, let me see the stats because they committed a lot of penalties.
Oh, yeah.
The Ravens, I think this also was a factor in the game because there was a pass where he threw it to Zay Flowers and it got to like the red zone and obviously Zay Flowers is a rookie. It was he got called for a taunting, which I mean I mean he's I think players should like celebrate and stuff, but I think there's a point where like you're really gonna throw a penalty for that the taunting, but it kind of shows like he's a rookie and
He'll want to
but
grow.
yeah he'll learn to grow. But I don't know. I think they should just let it go and shouldn't let him cause that huge pay because if that penalty wasn't called, then he would Snead wouldn't have forced that fumble. Like kind of like similar to like that the Bills and the Chiefs where like they like kind of like that 1 yard
That,
line
yeah, that was exactly
like
my thought watching. It was just deja vu from last week's game against the Bills.
and yeah and they fumbled and it just like man what more opportunities they the Ravens could have scored and all the like the penalties that think they had. So the Ravens had 8 penalties for 95 yards, and the Chiefs had 3 penalties for 30 yards. But you kind of said that the Chiefs have been there, done that because the Chiefs were kind of maybe getting to the Ravens' head, like the I think I saw Travis Kelsey. He was kind of like not taunting, but like talking shit to I think Rokon Smith, and they were getting heated up. So I think it kind of shows like the Chiefs been there, done that, and the Ravens.
Both teams knew what was on the line.
Uh-huh. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, Lamar he threw for 272, but that was kind of more towards the end of the game, and he didn't look great.
What's
Did you
also not
think
what's also not really being highlighted with the Ravens is what happened to their running game. Didn't they lead the NFL in
so?
rushing?
So exactly, that's what I was going to talk about. Why did they move away from their offense was throughout this whole year? Lamar only had 54 yards rushing. Gus Edwards only had 20 yards. Justice Hill, I think he's a rookie. I think he's stepping up throughout the as the season went. He only had three yards rushing, but
They
he
signed
made
Dalvin Cook for a reason. I don't know
what
what
happened.
happened.
Odell, right? Odell, what he was doing this season. he didn't show up to like maybe the third quarter, I think, or the fourth. I think the fourth quarter he started making his catches. He had 3 catches for 22 yards. Um, obviously, is Isaiah Likely. What happened to that too? Because he was stepping up with Mark Andrews. He only had 2 catches for 16 yards. So the only player that really stepped up was Zay Flowers. But like you said, the running game. And I do you think that Lamar, was it the Chiefs defense, or Lamar kind of moved away, kind of like, I'm gonna show you why I'm like, I don't want to like have the critics say like I'm just like a running quarterback and then I'm just gonna throw it, because that's what he kind of stepped away, because like there was some moments where I feel like he could have just ran the ball. Obviously, he had that he caught his own pass and it got deflected. So I mean, it was like a while back. Tom Brady's ex-wife said that Tom can't throw and catch the ball at the same time. Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson just proved that they that he can,
I
but that was
mean,
off of the
yeah, it was a losing effort, but that will make the highlight reel.
which I thought that could have been the momentum changer. Um, like when that happened too, like, oh, okay, like he caught it, so everything could go right for the Ravens. And momentum is a real thing. I think that's a big topic of discussion. That, oh well, momentum's not a thing in sports and stuff. Momentum is a thing in sports. Um, but yeah, man, what do you think? Like, did the Ravens move away from their why did the Ravens move away from their what they were doing so well all season long?
I think the last episode you were asking me about my picks, and I said I think the only way for the Chiefs to win is if the Ravens, I guess, find a way to lose. And yeah, they kind of did get in their own way, but I think their defense also played a big role. And I've always
No, they played
kind of,
well.
yeah, brought him up in the past. Steve Spagnuolo, they definitely brought up a good game plan because not only did he throw that pick, they also forced a fumble on Lamar.
Oh yeah, he got stripped. And he Spags did a lot of blitz on,
Hmm.
sent a lot of blitz. But the Ravens defense, they gave chances for Lamar in the office to win the game. Remember, um, the Chiefs went around on fourth down, which they could have easily kicked the field goal, but they went for it, and the defense stopped them. But they just couldn't convert, or they couldn't those key stops, because it was 17-10. You were held in the Chiefs. What, like at half they were the Chiefs didn't score at all. Like by the end of the half, like third and fourth quarter, they didn't score at all. So the Ravens defense did a great job of stopping the Chiefs in that offense. It's just
I mean, then
the
again,
Ravens
if Zay
could.
Flowers doesn't have that fumble, we're looking at a 17-17 score.
Well, exactly. So all these things could have happened. Like well, if it wasn't for the taunting, which if he didn't do that or he didn't get a penalty, then the fumble possibly couldn't happen. Who knows? You never know what could have happened. And then if he didn't like fumble the ball, Snead didn't punch it out, like everything, stuff just could have happened. Everything just kind of went right with the Chiefs. But Lamar's gonna take this hit because he is the MVP of the league, and it is just, people are going to say, oh, well, he couldn't get it done. But I think Lamar's a great quarterback. I think he's really improved. Um, proved a lot of people that he's not just a running quarterback, but he didn't really step up in this game. I think he's 2-5 in the postseason, which is not a great record. It doesn't show that he can like play in this big games. But man, it's unfortunate for the Baltimore Ravens because the city was excited to get to the Super Bowl. I know you as a Steelers fan, you didn't you probably didn't want them to go to the Super Bowl, but you're a Lamar fan, and it just kind of sucks for Lamar that he couldn't he couldn't get the Ravens to the Super Bowl. But you know, we
It
get to
is
see
what
the
it
Chiefs,
is.
that dynasty, that what three, their what is it, their fourth Super Bowl appearance, fifth?
I think it's their, I don't even know.
Well,
I
well,
think as
like,
like a franchise as a whole, this might be their
but within this
fifth or
dynasty era,
sixth.
but with this dynasty, I think it's like fifth or something like that,
Yeah,
or their fourth.
with Mahomes under center, this is their fourth time going.
Yeah, so imagine that three. He could possibly win his third ring. So imagine 3 out of 4, which is crazy. And like you said, he's only 29. You said 28, 29.
Yes,
So
28.
I mean, this Chiefs are gonna improve next year. And if you want to be the best, like in the AFC, if you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is Mahomes. And we'll see. If the Niners can get it done, um, the San Francisco 49ers took on Detroit. What is your takeaways from this game, man? Detroit Lions, they had it.
I mean, it's funny you brought up momentum. Early around the half, the Lions were up 21-7, correct?
Yeah, 21-7.
24-7, actually.
No, yeah, 24-7, yeah.
Yeah, to quote George Kittle, they had us in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, but I felt after the half, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners make a run. But since they were playing at home, I just had a feeling Detroit, the magic was gonna run out eventually, unfortunately.
But like you said, they started off hot. Like literally their first drive, they scored Jameson Williams with that breakaway. The
42 yard
speedster,
run.
yeah, 42-yard run. And then Montgomery scores. Wait, which first the Niners they missed a field goal. Was it Jake Moody? I think he missed a field goal, and then the Lions scored. Montgomery scores, and then McCaffrey scores. But then the Lions, this offense was explosive. And I think we've known from this whole season, this Lions team is like you said, the running game, everything, the two-headed monster with Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. It showed in the first half, like this is what got them, like the running game.
I mean, the knock on them this season is like, yeah, their offense, they they're explosive and they can do the job. Their defense is still a little shaky at
But the
times.
but the defense plays so well in that first half. So like you said, something happened in the second half where like the line just something it was two different halves, like literally complete two different halves. The Lions literally had the game. Now there's two fourth down plays, which people are saying like, well, maybe Dan Campbell should have taken the field goal or what happened. Dan Campbell's aggressive. This is what got them to this spot. Now they scored. They kicked the field goal by the at the end of the half, so which led 24-7. No problem. Like they didn't go for it. You're playing against the Niners. You got to get points. I think I'm okay with I'm okay with the first one, the fourth and the I think it was fourth and not mistaken. Was it fourth and two? They could have scored if they keep the field goal would have been 27-10. I'm okay with that one. I think Josh Reynolds. It was a he just dropped the ball. He couldn't get he couldn't get the pass. Like he couldn't catch the ball. Which is crazy because he really stepped up during the playoffs. I'm okay with that one. The second one, I think at that point they they could have tied the game and you're like I said, you're playing the Niners. You had to get some points at that. I think the second one they should have went for the field goal. Because it could have
Fair.
tied the game 27-27, but like that's just me, but I'm also not mad that Dan Campbell went for it because this like I said, this is what got them there. This is who they were.
Hmm.
Like Dan
But
Campbell is authentic.
we brought up momentum, but honestly, when the Niners, they got the possession on the second half. I really felt the momentum change after the IU catch and once they got in the red zone.
Oh, the the one that hit up the defender's head and somehow
Hmm.
you caught it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the momentum different that play definitely changed a lot of things. That led to what McCaffrey scoring. I think that was the McCaffrey touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, or Ayuk. I'm not sure who scored that one. But Ayuk did score a touchdown.
hmm.
McCaffrey had two. McCaffrey kind of was slowly. He got started pretty slowly. He only had 20 carries for 90 yards, two touchdowns. McCaffrey's always giving McCaffrey. Four
As
catch,
long as they
42.
got as long as they got into the red zone, they pretty much took over after that, and that
Yeah,
Jahmyr Gibbs fumble was very costly for the Lions.
yeah. That was a fumble. But now let's move away with it. Let's start with this. Brock Purdy showed that he can play in big games. He really stepped up this game. In the second half, he stepped up. When they Niners needed him, he made big plays. Obviously, he was getting a lot of hate over this, like we said, this season. He really stepped up. I did do you think he silenced his critics, or there's still gonna be noise until he wins the Super Bowl?
I feel like there'll still be noise until he wins the Super Bowl, but he did. I think he took it personally. He might not say it, but I feel like he probably used that as motivation because he just kept getting that game manager tag, and also people kept saying he's a system quarterback because of the Kyle Shanahan offense. But throughout the game, you can see he was making plays with his legs. He did have that. He took ownership of that first interception in the first half,
Mhm.
but Kyle Shanahan didn't give up on him. He didn't give up on him. The team still rallied around him, and it paid off.
He, like you said, he used his legs in key moments. He had 48 yards rushing, second in rushing the team. He threw for 267. Obviously, that one touchdown pass that he did to Ayuk, but like it's crazy because man, this guy's a seventh rounder, and what he has done at his second season in the NFL, two NFC Championship, and now he's at a Super Bowl. I mean,
He did
what
get
like
hurt in that first NFC championship, so I think that was
yeah,
also the added motivation.
which who knows, they could have gone to Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt. But let's like man, was a seventh rounder, wasn't a first, second, seventh round, the last pick of the draft. Like, what more does he have to prove? Like, I understand, you have to win it all, but I mean, he really stepped up. He played so well. Obviously, there's always going to be critics, but I mean, to say that he's not obviously not like Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, like Herbert's, Burrow, but he's special in his own like in his own way, and obviously the offense. Obviously, we have a lot of weapons, but he made a lot of key plays. Man, I thought Debo wasn't going to be that himself too. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's another thing I want to bring up. Once the not, I know Debo's banged up, but he still managed to play. But once the Niners kind of went on that run, like you can kind of see when Debo's in full strength, he definitely is. I'll probably say he's probably the driving force of that offense because he can do it both,
and
catching
that
and
attitude,
catching,
like
catching and running.
yeah, like his attitude, the way that he probably brings like that like like the mentality he has, and just like obviously CJ had a lot of, I think, in the off season, or what was it, like he had comments saying Debo, he's not a good route runner, he's not good. I'm gonna strap you up if we ever see each other in a game. And man, I think Debo also, he probably was like, you know what, all right. So he had 8 catches for 89 yards, and obviously in the rushing he had well, he only ran for 7 yards, but in it's they were key plays. Even Kyle Juszczyk, he made a unbelievable catch.
Oh yeah, that toe tap catch.
Yeah, the toe drag swag catch. Which man, like I said, this offense has so many weapons. Kittle, you only had 2 catches for 27 yards, but he had this specific catch that which was a key catch that the Niners needed. But
Mhm.
man, this Super Bowl is gonna be well. Before we talk about Superman, the Lions, all credit to them. Great season. Who would have thought they would have even make it this far? Dan Campbell, unbelievable coaching, possibly coach of the year if D'Amico Ryans didn't do what he did. But man, this Lion teams,
They
they had a
they they became America's sweetheart. Everyone, they were the team of destiny. Everybody was starting to fall in love with them. They were those
yeah, man.
like they were just that underdog story that they were just so close. But
Yeah, so close, man. But that city should definitely be proud of the team they had. It's gonna be well, they're definitely a team that next year teams got to watch out. I'm sure a lot of teams are eye on them now. But man, the Niners are back to Super Bowl. Like they said, they felt like they should have been there last year if it wasn't for Brock Purdy getting hurt. Um, what's your thoughts on the Super Bowl? Um, before like because now it's 2 weeks away. We'll see. I think the Niners are favorite. Yes, the Niners are favorite by 1.5 right now. The Chiefs once again, underdogs.
I still think it's too early to tell to figure out.
But
who was going to win it because honestly, both teams, they, it's one of those rare situations we just look at both teams like,
they both have something to prove too.
and both are capable of winning it.
Yeah, both teams have something to prove. Obviously, like we said, Chiefs haven't been great all season, and the Niners, if it all those injuries didn't happen last year, they probably could have gone to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. So, um, and this could have been another back. If the Niners went to the Super Bowl, this could have been another back to back Super Bowl thing because it would have been the Chiefs versus the Niners last year if the Eagles didn't win. So it could have been a back to back Super Bowl with them. Man, I just hope that it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's a great game. Do you think offensively it's gonna be explosive? A lot of points. A lot of points. It says the over under is 47.5, which I can possibly see a lot of points scored in this game. Obviously, the Chiefs defense is, with Spags. I wonder what they're gonna throw at Brock Purdy. Um,
It's a pretty high over. I don't know necessarily. It could happen, but I'm not certain. But I do
they're gonna
believe
have
it. I'd probably take the spread. I do have a feeling this game will probably be pretty close.
pretty close, pretty close. Like I said, the offense, both teams score a lot. If you're gonna want to beat the Niners, you're gonna have to score a lot of points. I think Mahomes is gonna have to score a lot of points. Um, we'll see with their offense. Obviously, they have 2 weeks of rest. You know, I think Kadarius Tony probably needs that rest, right? Or no?
Uh,
Eh, is he even gonna suit up the game? Kadarius Tony, like,
I don't know if he can be a secret weapon.
well, he possibly have he might have another ring there, but man, hopefully it's a great game. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. Um, yeah, man. Any last thoughts before we end this pod?
Uh, my last thoughts just if you maybe want to get into just a little talk about the NBA. Bron's still doing what he does in year 21. He still managed to put up a triple double, and him and Steph Curry, that rivalry.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really.
We want to see it in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll definitely want to see. Like I said, the NBA season it's a long season. I haven't really caught into the NBA. Probably just saw little clips in there. On what's it?
What
The day of was it on the day of Kobe's passing? I think
that entire week
Luca that week, like
we just had a week
everybody's
of scoring.
Luca had what 73. Devin Booker had 62, 63. If I'm not 62, because kind of like what Kobe did, like 62. Cat had what like 70. Carl Anthony Towns had what like 70 or 70, 62, if I'm not mistaken. 63. It was a lot of points. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really tapped in basketball. It's right now. I'm in football season still. I still got like possibly probably this week because football. There's no games except for like the Pro Bowl, but yeah, nobody's watching that
Yeah,
that Pro Bowl. I'll probably tap into some basketball this week. Obviously, no football, but next week is all week football, all Super Bowl
All-Star games
week,
coming soon.
All-Star game. So once the football season's in, we'll definitely tapping in a little bit more basketball. But um, yeah, man, we'll probably be back next week. Probably next week with maybe a little bit basketball talk. And kind of moving towards like the what our Super Bowl probably our picks and our predictions for the Super Bowl game versus the Chiefs versus the Niners. But till then, we'll see you with another episode. Peace.
Bye, everybody.